So in the first chapter there are just three important things: 4-bar mechanism, single slider crank mechanism, and double slider crank mechanism. Now we are going to discuss in detail about 4-bar mechanism. What is a 4-bar mechanism? This is a 4-bar mechanism. Pin joint everywhere is a 4-bar mechanism, 4 links. Now we are going to study about number of inversions. Inversions means fixing one link, because without fixing one link you cannot perform a operation. So fixing different link at a different time is called inversions. So how many inversion does 4-bar mechanism has? 4. Number of links is equal to number of inversions. This is the thing. Now we will fix different links and will study what type of mechanism we get. So one important thing here is this: P plus Q is greater than or equal to S plus L if short plus longest. If this condition satisfy, then in a 4-bar this is called Grashof criteria. If this is satisfied, at least one link of every inversion will perform or behave like crank. Means suppose you take the case of, there are 4 inversion possible. The inversions are double crank, crank rocker, rocker, and repetition of crank rocker. So if the condition satisfy, this Grashof condition satisfy, we are getting, for this to happen, crank to happen, this condition should be satisfied. For this to happen, this should be satisfied. This to happen, this should be satisfied. Now rocker. In rocker case, there will be like this. Suppose this is fixed, rocker, or this fixed, rocker, crank. If here crank comes, connecting rod behaves as a crank, then definitely this condition has to be satisfied. So in this we are going to say is, if this condition satisfies this condition, then at least one link of every mechanism will behave as a crank. But suppose if this condition does not satisfy, that does not mean that we have not got a machine. We have still got a machine, but in that machine, for this condition, P plus Q is less than S plus L. In this condition, there won't be any crank. There will be just rocker mechanism. Only rocker mechanism will be obtained. So this is the statement saying both this depicts a machine, but for to have a crank, Grashof's criteria should be satisfied. So suppose in question says that Grashof's criteria is satisfied, then means at least one link will behave as a crank. So now the most important thing of this is this. So the standard is this. Standard mechanism, how a standard 4-bar mechanism look like. Sorry. S L P Q. This is the standard. Suppose S is fixed, then P and L will rotate fully. So short link fixed means double crank mechanism. If adjacent to short link fixed, I means P or L is fixed, crank rocker. And if Q is fixed, opposite to short is fixed, then that is double rocker mechanism. So no matter what the orientation of, suppose Q can be here, P can be here, L can be here, this any S can be here, any orientation, just remember this: shortlist fixed, double crank. Adjacent to shortlist fixed, just remember this language: adjacent to shortlist fixed, क्रैंक रॉकर. और अगर शॉर्ट लिंक के अपोजिट वाला फिक्स्ड है तो रॉकर मैकेनिज्म. और ये सब उस कंडीशन में हो रहा है एस प्लस एल इज ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू, सॉरी, एस प्लस एल इज लेस देन इक्वल टू पी प्लस क्यू वाले कंडीशन के लिए. क्योंकि क्रैंक आ गया तो क्रैंक होने के लिए सेटिस्फाई होना पड़ेगा. बस यही लिखा है, इस कंडीशन को भूलना नहीं. बस जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस. सब भाड़ में जाए, जस्ट रिमेंबर नो मैटर व्हाट वेयर पी क्यू एल आर लोकेटेड, just this has to be followed. Now these are the some of the questions. Now the condition was S plus L is, so this also means S plus L is equal to P plus Q. Now what does this mean? This condition is also Grashof, this also validates Grashof, mean at least one crank, one link will have a crank. So this has two orientation: parallelogram linkage or deltoid linkage. So arrangement can be like this. So if arrangement is like parallelogram or parallel, then you fixed anything, any link, S, L, this, you will only get crank mechanism. But if deltoid linkage is there, opposite like here opposite were there, adjacent, then you will definitely get just crank rocker in any case. But no, not crank rocker. In this case, if short is fixed, you will get double crank. If L is fixed, you will get crank rocker. So, and if just Grashof law is not valid, not validated, then only one possibility: double rocker mechanism. You will get only double rocker mechanism if this is not validated. So these are all the things written here. Yeah. So even in question it is not mentioned that Grashof is validated, you assume Grashof to be validated and solve. The questions are very easy and not too hard. So one important: real life inversions of 4-bar mechanism are not asked and not to be done. Just the basics. No matter how this 4-bar looks, just remember S opposite, S fixed, CC, opposite to S fixed, RR, adjacent fixed, CL. And if not Grashof law validated, then only one possibility, RR.